Greetings, 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 greetings. I am here again for day number 16 of my 365 days of live action on TikTok. Ashe, I am Chantel Seer Tishakim, your holistic soul guide and self-care practitioner. How are we doing tonight? We are waiting for y'all to come into the room. We going live on this Friday night, vibing out, calling in the Vibe Tribe. I have a couple of my sisters who will be joining me, but in the scheme of it, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards just off the rip, okay? Giving thanks for this day, giving thanks for the energy of I am, giving thanks that I get to show up for me. You know, it's nothing like showing up for yourself. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. So, yeah. What is the message? Those were. What is the message? Welcome, welcome, y'all. Welcome into the space. Let's see what we got and what we working with. Oh, that one popped out so quickly. We got strength. Card number 8, the Lion and the Lamb. This is the energy that I'm working with, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Even though I come across as a little divine butterfly, the Lion and the Lamb resides within I. Ashe? And in that space, we are bringing forth the harvest, reaping what we sow, you know. This is what it's all about. Every day that I show up, I'm bringing forth the energy of that which I have sown, getting out of my head and into my heart, standing on the firm foundation of the things that I've already planted. And I believe, and I not only believe, I know that they are taking root and bringing forth what they have been intended to do. Ashe? As I take the lead in my life as the King of Wands. Yes, the King of Wands. And you see again, the lion shows up. You know why? Because I am a part of the tribe of Judah. Ashe, for those of you who know, you know, the tribe of Judah is where royalty began. Ashe, and that is truly the energy that we're working with today as we take the leap as the fool, the wise woman. Wise woman go, okay? So that is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to do one more card. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I have already started my wonderful reading. I am your host, Chantel Seer Tishakim, going live on location in this TikTok world, pulling some cards just for the energy of the day, tapping into my divine wisdom and the ancestor energy that supports. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who is that? Free. We are free. And who the sun sets free is free indeed. Okay? We are ending this reading with the Queen of Wands, working our magic as I have come forth to work my magic, you know, as the queen embracing my journey of embracing the queen within. For those of you who have been on my call, been on my platform before, I have written a book called Embracing the Queen Within. And this card here always reminds me of that. You know, we have the whole world in our hand. As we begin to let our light shine, it can light up the world for others also. Ashe. So we're going to start from the bottom and go to the top with everything is in the palm of your hands. You get to create the world and light it up, light it up, light it up. Let it all blow up, you know, or all light up in that case, as you create the world with your own imagination, with your gifts, with your talents, with truly being who you have been called to be. Ashe, this is how we begin to light up the world around us. So what also takes place in that space is taking the leap as the fool or the wise woman, taking the leap into the unknown, but in that space also being the leader, knowing that you're guided and protected as you stand on the firm foundation of that which you believe you are worthy of. Pentacles is all about your material presentation. What shows up in your world? What does it look like? You know, here it is. We're standing on the foundation of what we are taking the lead with, getting out of our head and into our heart so that we can receive the harvest of what we have planted. And what it takes to do that is to go within so you don't do without. Be the lion and the lamb. Pull on your inner strength, you know, doing the things that you thought you couldn't do, which is what I'm doing right now. You know, showing up on this platform, sharing my gifts, sharing my talents, you know, even if it's for myself, because this is my commitment of this 365-day commitment to go live, let my voice be heard, and shine bright like a diamond. So free, do you want to come into the space? I'm welcoming, hey, Kiki. Greetings, sis. I ain't seen you in a couple of days. Happy Friday to you. I just completed the reading, but I'm going to run back through like I always do, starting from the bottom from the book. But the story in and of itself is like, it's time for us to go within and harness our strength, right? To bring forth the gifts that this life has to offer. You said you was catching up with work. Okay. Sometimes we got to take a time out and go into those things that are in the motions of the matrix and get it done. So kudos to you. Thank y'all for the taps. Thank you for the love. I mean, this is my 16th day of going live for my 365-day journey. So I appreciate y'all coming into the room and supporting me. I have a couple of my sisters coming on. I even met some new people last night that brought me into their space and are willing to show me how this TikTok world works. So that was truly an honor. But you know, here we are showing up, and it is our world. We get to make it up as we go and meet some awesome people in the process. So thank you. Kiki, whenever you're ready to come on, let me know so you can co-host for me and get you some points, girl. I mean, whatever that means. You just let me know. If you're ready, I'm going to bring you in. Just tell me one of these days, okay? If tonight's the night, you know, tonight is the night. Ooh, you know that song? That's a whole nother vibe. It kind of ages me. But anyway, so we're going to start from the Light Seers Tarot, and we're going to read from the book. Starting from the bottom, Ashe. So the first card that came out this evening was the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands for me is my energy, and I love anything that says Queen, because as you guys know, I'm embracing the Queen within, living my life out loud, living aligned and crowned, helping myself to straighten my crown and get my mind right, wrapped around how I want to live this life. So Queens is all about everything you need is in the palm of your hand. You see that? She's just looking at her light and saying, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Yes, that song does age us, don't it? But, you know, I liked it. So Queen of Wands says, Wands is all about creative energy, doing the things that you love to do, shining bright like a diamond, however that looks to you. So in the book it says, I fill my world with an intense light that connects and excites passion. So you see those lights all around her? just because she showed up and shined her light, it allowed others to shine theirs as well. And that's what I'm hoping this platform will create. You know, just an opportunity for me to meet other women, me to meet other men who are really wanting their light to shine, wanting to do something they've never done before. Like the group that I met yesterday. They have all started going live as of the new year as well. So it's just, it's fun. So as we show up, we'll inspire others to do the same. And that's all about taking that leap. Wise woman, the fool, whatever you want to call it. But we ain't going to be the fool. We're going to be the wise woman, and we're going to jump into this pool of endless possibilities, bringing forth anything and everything that we need. And you see, it doesn't take taking a lot of things with you. She just has a crystal in her hand. Greetings, 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 Chrissy. Welcome into the room and into the space. We're going through a card pool that I pulled of the energy of today and the essence of what we're talking about. So we started at the bottom and we're going to the top, but we ended with the Queen of Wands followed by the Fool. So the Fool basically for me is like, sometimes we get caught up in a cycle of knowing, hey, this is all there is, or feeling like this is all there is. But something is inspiring you to do something different, to take a leap in a direction that you don't know really what's on the other side, but you know that something is there that may inspire you or that is calling you. Kind of like me in this TikTok journey. I never would have thought that I would be on TikTok doing these readings. I've worked with tarot and oracle cards for about, I'd say 6 years now. And I remember coming from religion that this was something that was an absolute no-no. This was of the devil. But the more I studied to show myself approved and hear the voice of God in me, I was given this as a tool that said, you know what? This tarot deck is no different than, is no different than this. Y'all know what that is, the Bible, okay? Which is on my altar as well. And they work the same. They work hand in hand because it's evolve and grow. There's good, there's bad, if you want to say it, but I always say there's only good and God. So good and God is all there is, and wherever you find yourself in there, that's what it is. So anyway, I've learned to do tarot for myself and just confirming a word as I communed with God, as I prayed, as I meditated, as I just said in that spirit, like, where is the greater works, Lord? Where is the greater works? And you know what he told me? The greater works is you. The greater works is my spirit in you. The greater works is Christ consciousness. The greater works is the expansion and growth of the human experience coming back into oneness. So look, I'm going to ring my bell on that because that was a revelation, and it didn't take having to die and go to hell and all that to get it. So I'm grateful. So this is where the Fool comes in. When you jump into the unknown, jump in and see what's there because you get to make the final decision. You get to make the final decision. Nothing outside of you. It's all you. And as I've learned, to dive in deeper and expand my consciousness, this Fool, the Wise Woman journey has been very, very, very eventful and beautiful nonetheless. All right? So what does it say for the Fool or the Wise Woman, as I like to call her? Because I ain't no fool. Hello. We got to be mindful of what we say. So the Wise Woman journey says, I am ready for this adventure down my soul's path. Oh my God. See, they tapping into all my business right now. So the divine message of my soul's path was an inspiration for my book, Aligned and Crowned, right? And from that book, there are 5 archetypes. 5 soul path archetypes that showed up in my ancestral line, in my DNA, in my bloodline, which is also in each one of ours in some way, shape, or form, that have come through to help us navigate our experience, just as Christ did in religion, right? It is a archetype of what it is to live the human life and what challenges and things that we may go through to help us, get to the next level. So in my book, Aligned and Crowned, we talk about the Dream Weaver. We talk about the Warrior of Light. We talk about the Priestess of the Path. We talk about the Oracle, and we talk about the Messenger. So those 5 archetypes are here to serve me in this lifetime, and I have been able to channel the energy, just like each and every one of us have been given these little gifts, talents, and abilities to help us navigate our life. So this is where we at. So we navigating the soul path, knowing that, booyah, we got to take the lead as the King of Wands. Ooh, and looky here. We got a couple. Look at them. Both of them, the King and the Queen. This is definitely royalty energy. The King and Queen of Wands, which is my energy, both showing up. And I said this King of Wands reminds me today of the tribe of Judah, because the lion is here, and we also end with the lion and the lamb. So we got a message coming through today. So the King of Wands supports the Queen, King and Queen, divine counterparts here. And as of course, they are symbolic of us, right? Of me, of we. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome into the room. We're diving into this reading. I have pulled 7 cards and we just diving in. Greetings, greetings, sis. Oh, you ready to come in? Yay! I'm ready to bring you in. Can you request? Let me see. I don't know how to do it from here. Do you know how to request? Let me see. You said sorry you was where? Oh, you wasn't late. I just started. You wasn't late. This is your first time as well. Okay. Look, I think I got to go over here to invite you. Let's see. Goodness gracious. Do you see a space where it says join as a co-host? Let me see. I think there should be a space where you can join as a co-host. Oh, see, I was about to invite somebody else. Oh, I know what it is, sis. If you haven't went live 3 times for 30 minutes, me and Sherry had to do that. I completely forgot. That is a requirement. In order to be able to come on someone's live, you have to have went live for 30 minutes. For 3 days for 30 minutes to be able to join a live. So on your free time, maybe you can do your meditation on live for 30 minutes, because it's like you have to do 30 minutes of live time for 3 days. It don't have to be consecutive, but it has to be 3 days before you can come on live. So dang, I just realized that if you haven't been on. So I will just continue. If anyone else wants to come on who is able, please, please, please don't hesitate. Okay, you're going to do it Sunday. Give thanks. All right, so I have talked about the Queen of Wands. I talked about the wise woman or the fool. And I also am now at the King of Wands. And I was talking about this is a divine connection, a divine counterpart. This is where the tribe of Judah comes together to make it all happen. They creating worlds up in here. Ashe. So the King of Wands says, passionate and heart-fueled, we build this empire of light together. What I say at the beginning, I'm calling in the kings and the queens. We need to build. We need to grow. We need to inspire one another to be true to who we are, and support each other. The divine masculine and the divine feminine in us also needs to begin to find that balance, that energy that really allows us to show up in our truth. And then from that space, when we are solid in our own masculine and feminine energy, we can begin to build on a foundation even with other people, right? Not only in our relationships, like romantically, but in our friendships, in our partnerships, in growing the world, knowing that it's no competition. We're all in it together. We're all in it together. And foundations are needing to be established. We have to build on a firm foundation. So what's your foundation? I was talking earlier about Christianity being my foundation, and then being open enough to take the leap into this occult world, being able to commune with my God self, the divine source energy of God, Christ consciousness, and utilize the Bible, the Torah, the tarot cards, and everything else that I see as a tool to support me, because that's the freedom we have. That is where we can align our will with the energy wheels, right? With the energy essence of our I am. So, Page of Pentacles is all about our material existence. So the Page of Pentacles says, Page of Pentacles, again, I said standing on foundations, building on your truth. And it says, I can be practical and realistic and still run ahead and meet my dreams. Ooh, I love that. I'm going to ring the bell. Because my business is where practical spirituality meets holistic health. We can be practical. Everything's not just face value, right? It's all perspective. It's all perspective. What do you see it as? Because whatever you see is what it is. I don't see with your eyes. I don't hear with your ears. I don't feel with your heart. But what I see, feel, and hear is my reality. And sometimes our realities come together, and that's a good thing. If y'all don't mind, just tap the screen. Give me some love. Give me some hearts, just so I can see the little hearts come across the stage, so I can feel encouraged as I give this powerful word, or I'm going to just ring the bell. Ashe. So, I can be practical and realistic and still run ahead and meet my dreams. And the more you tap the screen, the more it'll bring others into the room. So if you don't mind, please do so as I get out of my mind and get into my heart. Give thanks, give thanks. Getting out of my mind and into my heart. This is how we begin to have a fresh start. Ooh, I'm a poet, y'all, and I knew it. I knew it. I'm a poet and I knew it, okay? So I'm getting out of my mind and into my heart. And I'm bringing those things into head and heart coherence, meaning that they're in the same energy. So I'm not being distracted only by what I see. I'm going by what I feel. And I'm allowing the feel goods to motivate me and move me to the next leap, to the next place. So this is Two of Swords energy. Swords is all about minds and how we get caught up in illusions and get caught up in, oh my God, the worry, the doubt, the limiting beliefs, those ideas of things that coulda, woulda, shoulda, might happen but are not in this present now. So we got to get out of that. We got to only go into that space when we're creating from that space of what we desire, not from the space of what we don't. Like, you know, we got to let the crows go. Let the crows go. This picture also reminds me of this movie. If you haven't watched it, it's called Divergence. Okay? It was an old movie. Have y'all seen that? Divergence? Well, it was a point in the movie where this girl, they were on simulations. They were having these simulations, and they had to navigate experience based on the simulation that was being presented. And there was a part of the simulation where she was being attacked by these birds. She was being attacked. They were just coming at her head everywhere, and she had to figure out how to get away from these. And the way that she did it would say how she, what sector she would fit in. So there were like these different sectors or classes of people, and based on how you think, determined what sector you would function in society. So she was doing things out of the norm. You know, she wasn't doing it the way that most people would do it because she was a divergent. So she had her own way of doing things. That's what that card always reminds me of. So there was different things within her simulation that she could use to get away from the birds. But what they wanted her to do is not the way she did it. So they were looking at her kind of side-eye like, you might not be able to be controlled. And that's what we want to be. We don't want to be the ones being controlled. We want to control our environment. So this is what we're talking about with this. Get out of our mind and into our heart. Because your heart is always going to lead you to the right thing. Although, you know, to each their own. I believe that following my heart is going to lead me to the right thing, because I believe also where the scripture says in the last day, he's going to write the message and the word on your heart. So your eyes, your ears, your head. So that's why we got to adjust our crown, can be deceiving. But how did it make you feel? Even Maya Angelou said that. They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how it made you feel. Welcome to the space. Welcome to the space, Felicia. Welcome all. Welcome all. So, we're going to go into this Two of Wands. What does it say? I already believe I know what it says because I work with these cards a lot. But I'm just going off the rip, and I want to read it from the book. So, Two of Swords. Two of Swords. When blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move toward the light. Ooh, look at that, y'all. When blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move toward the light. So looking at this picture and seeing her being blindfolded, what light is it that she's seeing, y'all? If you're blindfolded, can you see the light? Welcome, cousin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, when we're blinded, what light is it that you think you see? It's your inner light. It's the light that's coming up through you, right? It's that heartfelt energy. And I'm going to tell y'all a story, because these are real life things. Chronicles of the Embracing the Queen Within here tonight. So when those of you who know me or have followed my page or seen the pictures, you saw that I did an Origin X leadership conference. It was like a boot camp for spiritual Power Rangers. I'm going to say that. So it was a spiritual Power Ranger leadership conference where we were doing these wild things, just like energetically motivated experiences, testing our bodies and putting it to the test so that we can awaken new parts of our being, right? So one part of it was we spent all day being blindfolded. This was wild. I have never been blindfolded all day. So yeah, we were blindfolded and we were putting our body to the test. So we had to set in ice water for 10 minutes. We had to stand on nails for 10 minutes. We had to eat, we had to drink, we had to do everything blindfolded. We had to depend on someone else and our own self to navigate us. So it was really, really, really like next level, because now you had to use other senses to navigate your being. Well, one time during this experience, it was the worst experience, but the best for me was the standing on the nails. Oh my God, when I tell you the breakthroughs that happened, but also the awakening. So we are blindfolded, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life, even worse than childbirth. If you've had a baby and you tried to go natural and you know how bad that hurt, well, this was like that, but even 10 times worse. So reset your nervous system is what these nails do. But what comes up is everything connected to whatever you're feeling, whatever you've held, whatever you've stuffed down. But we were blindfolded, and I remember I was screaming. I literally was screaming like, I want to get off. And one of our coaches, Phoenix, she was like, I heard her yelling. It sounded like she was like, what are you running from? And she said she never said that, but that's what I heard. But she said she was whispering, and everybody else around said they didn't even hear what she was saying. So that was wild in and of itself. But I was like, I know I was yelling because I was in pain. I was like, I want to get off. And she was like, why do you want to get off? And I was like, because it hurts. And I was like, oh, she was like, well, what are you going to do with the pain? And I was like, I just want to get off. And she was like, what are you going to do with the pain? And all of the emotions of how I've ran from things that had been painful in my life came to the surface. It was like, yeah, all your life you've ran. Anytime it got difficult, anytime it got painful, you would just want to get off, jump off, run away. But now you have to stand in it. So what are you going to do with the pain? And I literally... she's like, look at me. And I don't even know if she said look at me, but I heard her say, look at me. And I literally seen this woman. And even after it was all over, I was like, did you take my blindfold off? And she was like, no, you were blindfolded the whole time. Not only did I see her, I seen her enough to grab her arms. And I was like, let me off, But she said I never undid my eyes. And even once it was over and I got off, and Jay came over, because I was like shook, y'all. My whole body was like vibrating, and I saw him get up and walk toward me. So it was like surreal to know that all along my blindfold was on. So it's really, really interesting how your other senses begin to adjust in a way to make, like, I was blindfolded, but I really could see. During that experience, I could see. And I really did see, but I didn't see. So, that was story time. I hope that was interesting. But so, when we're blinded, where is that light coming from? It says, when blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move toward the light. Ooh, I love it. So now I've learned that I don't have to run from pain, right? We don't have to run from pain. We don't have to run from the things that make us feel that we can't take it, or we are afraid of what's going to happen on the other side of it. Oh, let me finish the story. So after she said it, when we went back and they looked at the video or whatever, so 5 minutes of that time, I was screaming bloody murder. The last 5 minutes, I was in a space of surrender, and I stood there just like, mind over matter. It was so beautiful. It was so blissful. Even the other people there, they were like, it was so beautiful to even hear. And they were saying they was watching it too, but we were all blindfolded. But they were like, yes, we could see the transition. It's been, one of the sisters, she was like, I was like, just let her off. And then it was silence. She was like, so it was like we felt the energy of that extreme pain moving into surrender. And I mean, it was beautiful. So yeah, we can move toward the light, and when we do, booyah, we get everything that we desire. We get the abundance. We get to die, as you see that dove there, but in that rebirth, that's on the other side of the pain, of the thing that we thought we couldn't accomplish. It's the harvest of what we have planted in our foundation of truth, right? So whatever you've planted, oh, that's good. Give thanks. Oh, give thanks. So whatever you plant and whatever you believe as your truth, that spirit, whatever you plant and whatever you believe as your truth is what you're going to reap. Okay? So be mindful. Be mindful. That is why it's so important for us to plant the seeds of the things we want to happen instead of doing the things that we don't want to happen, thinking the thoughts we don't want to happen, giving energy to the things that we don't want. Because as we found out, thoughts become things, and it starts through, what did I say? You have a thought. You have a feeling, the feeling produces an action, the action produces results, so more of it, and your results create your legacy. That's from my sister Nadia, low-key communication in her marketing class, but we marketing ourselves these days, and we're marketing our life by renewing our minds and aligning it to the things that we desire, because it's all available. It's the extremes. It's the low and the high, the good and the bad, the dark and the light, whatever you see. But like I said before, it's only good in God. Good in God. Good in God. Good in God. We raising the vibration because, what did we say? 9 of Pentacles. Let's see. That's our material manifestation. Material manifestation coming through, right? As we die, as we go through this motions of the matrix, hopefully spiraling upward into the highest expression of life that we want to live. And the 9 of Cups says that's almost as good as you can get, right? You done planted, you done reaped, you done sowed, you done cried, you done yelled, you done, felt like you done died, went to hell, and now where you at again? Do you want to go back to hell? Do you? Or do you want to expect that when you die? Do you? Or do you want to experience heaven on earth and get even more of this heavenly experience on the other side? It's your choice. It's your choice. We're not going to confine. We're no longer going to conform to the things of the world that says you die and go to heaven and hell. No, 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 no. We are experiencing them simultaneously in this lifetime. And you can die to that belief system and be raised again and experience something different if you so choose. Ashe? So this number 9 says, I enjoy the bliss and abundance that I have sown. You see her? She alive. She alive. She don't have to die to go and get the bliss and the abundance that she has sown, because this is paradise. This is the space where we get to do it all. We have to kind of go through the cycle. We have to go through the mud. We have to get past the limiting beliefs. We got to get past the programming of this is the way everybody said, walk in it. But once we do, we can begin to attract those people who support the new belief in the new age, in this new world, in this new creation that God in me and up there and all around said we get to enjoy. We don't have to come to earth to suffer and then go to heaven. That doesn't make sense to me. What's the point of that? So we're tapping in so that we can receive. I enjoy the bliss. Bliss is the level that comes after self-actualization. We getting deep in here tonight. Okay, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that pyramid. The pyramid that everybody has been kind of introduced to. It's like the rainbow, taste the rainbow. It's that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the bottom level, that's your root chakra. That's where your I am is. And it's I am safe. I am in survival. I am just trying to stay alive. Staying alive. So you can start there. That's where everybody starts. Lifetime after lifetime. We just need to survive. Look at a baby. What is the main thing? They need to survive. So there's people there to help protect them, guide them, direct them, nurture them so that they can survive. A baby can't survive on its own. It needs community. Then you go up to the next level. I don't remember what it is. It might be love. I don't know. But I just say with the yellow, I feel. But we'll move all the way up to the top of the pyramid. The top of the pyramid, and in Maslow's theory, this is psychology for you. In Maslow's theory, at each age group, you kind of move up the pyramid, right? So I'm getting somewhere with this. So as you get to the top, it says that most human beings don't even get to reach the top of the pyramid, that bottom pyramid, okay? The very top purple part, okay? They say most human beings don't even get to reach that. They say you have to be in the age range of 80s before you get to self-actualization. However, since we are now in the age of Aquarius, we getting there. We are there. We are in it. And most people, even at a younger age, are there. The reason I say that is because there's this thing called the transpersonal hourglass of awareness. So once you get to self-actualization, the pyramid flips. Booyah! Boom! And at the tip of that flipped pyramid, and it looks like the pyramid of days of our lives. You know, these are the days of our lives. You know, you got that pyramid looking bottom and then the hourglass look. Okay, so at the top of that is bliss. Okay, agape love, nirvana, and all this great stuff. It's all good the higher you get. Okay, so this has been some beautiful things and beautiful tools that I've learned, and knowing that once you get up there, you get to experience more of the good, more of the great, more of the God, you know. So we have to seek to get up to that, knowing that all things are one, all things are God, good is all there is, and this is what I'm pursuing in my life. And anything else, I let it go because it's there to serve someone else. I've already reached that. You know, what they say, hell is for people who've never been there, but heaven is for those who've been to hell and back several times. Something like that. I just made it up. But Ralph Smart talks about it all the time. And I'm just like, yeah, I can relate. So then we come forth as the lion and the lamb. It takes strength, right? It takes courage. It takes being okay, being different. You know, she don't look like a real human, but, you know, she the lion and the lamb. Strength. That is where we end. We end in a place of strength, empowerment, understanding, understanding. You know, again, these are on the two extremes. I say the tribe of Judah coming through. We are royalty. We are royalty. You got the lion in the background there. He got your back. And then you embody the lion because it's part of you. So it's not only supporting you from the outside, it's supporting you from the inside. We got to pull on that strength, y'all. We got to pull it in. We got to go within. We got to be our own light. Because as we saw here, when we can shine our light, be that wave our wand, we also light up others. We also show others what it is to live and move and have your being. Hey sis, hey cousin, oh my God, I got several of my kin folks in the line. We are royalty, y'all. You know I'm representing for the family up in here. Yes, I am. So we were going into our strength, the lion and the lamb, the tribe of Judah coming through, okay? So strength. When I think of that, it does take a lot of strength to do the things that most people won't do. It does take a lot of strength to step onto this platform and say, hey y'all, here I am pulling these tarot cards and oracle cards and speaking my truth from my heart just because I'm challenging myself, you know. I'm sick of the mundane motions of the matrix. This is a platform that has been set aside for those who choose to enter into the deep waters of as the wise woman. So here I is. I'm being the wise woman this year. 365 days. So y'all hopefully be inspired and really decide that you want to come on this live too. Be seen, be heard. Are you the oracle messenger? Are you the priestess of the path? Are you the dream weaver? Are you the what is the other ones? Oracle, dream weaver, warrior of light, priestess of the path, or the messenger? Which are you? I found that I was the oracle messenger, and you can find out which one you are too in my book, Aligned and Crowned, The Wheel Within the Wheel. This is what we talking about. We flipping the script. We we flipping the script because we can, you know, okay? And it does take strength to do that. So thank y'all for the love. Tap, 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 tap. I love the hearts. I love seeing it. It lets me know that I am touching your heart in a mighty, mighty way. So this one says, strength, the lion and the lamb. I deliberately bring my compassion and strength forward, and I use them for the good. I use it for the good because the lion can tear you up. Hello, been there too. I was that girl. I was a fighter, y'all. Y'all probably wouldn't even know. I would beat you up real bad. Real bad. And it was that Kali Ma energy, that death and destruction energy, because that is how much was in me. And I would not stop until I seen blood. Oh my God. That's how much pain was within me that I was willing to show that in a big, big way. So I really went through this death and rebirth. But don't get it twisted. The lion is still there because that's what made me who I am today. Because I know how it is to be in that depths of hell. I know what it feels like to be in that dark, sunken place and feel like all you can do is fight. All my life I had to fight, but no more. I'm going to ring the bell on that. We crushing them generational cycles. We crushing them limiting beliefs. We crushing them old ways that didn't feel good and didn't serve us. We are shifting the vibration and the frequency of the earth. One person at a time. One person at a time. It only takes you to change your world. And those that connect with you, their world will be changed too because of you, because you've been obedient. And now we're going to reach into my ancestor deck. Booyah. Secrets of the ancestor. They like, yes, we so proud of you. I'm proud of me too. We so proud of you that you deciding to step up and speak out and do the things that most people wouldn't do. You know, feel limited, feel afraid, feel like who's going to judge me. I don't care. How about that? How about that? Meet me outside. How about that? Look, meet me outside. How about that? So we're going to meet outside and see what these ancestors say. So the trickster, ego versus access. Okay? So look, what a mighty web we weave when we try to conspire and deceive. That's the word for this card. So we can live in the space of edging God on. Say, come on, God, show me what you're working with. Or edging God out. And that's that independent spirit. That's that place of, oh, it's just me, myself, and I. And in that space, it gets very, very lonely. And that's when the trickster can come in and begin to wreak havoc on your mind, okay? So we have to live in excess and knowing that when we edge God on, we get more, we get more, we get more of whatever it is we desire. Think about it. I'm going to ring the bell on that. We shift in frequency. We going to edge God on. Edge God on. The God in me, the God around me. Like I said, all there is good in God. However you want to see it. But we'll talk about, it's number 15. And it's got a message. Let's see what it says. I say edging God on. Don't get caught up in the web, in the cycle, in the matrix of the motions of the matrix. Understand that these two people are free, but there's something overshadowing them, keeping them free, I would say, or keeping them connected to a web in a sense. But is that web serving them, helping them stay on the right path, or is it hindering them? Let's see what the message is. Number 15. It says, ego versus excess, the trickster. And that's where that energy comes in too with the devil and the angels, right? Which is it? We all know that even the devils were fallen angels per the Bible in some sense of it. But does that make them bad? Does it make them evil? Does it make them wrong? Or was it just a purpose behind it? Because God said, I need them to see extremes of all that is available. You get to choose still. You still get to choose. But we're going to let it be all free game. Your will be done. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Whatever that means to you. Ashe? But this card says, I easily release anything that is holding me back. Ooh. We talked about those limiting beliefs. We talked about those fears, those illusions. I easily release anything that is holding me back. So that is a word for today. They say one more, one more. Okay, we're going to go one more from the ancestors as we easily release the things that are holding us back. Nobody's judging you. Nobody is telling you or keeping you from being great. No one but you. That sense of separation, because also ego could be edging God out. Being in that place of self. You know, that sense of security also comes from the ego. Sense of safety, sense of separation. So how have you egged God out, or edged God on, or edged God out? Ooh! Okay? So looky, on the opposite end of that, look at what we got. The altar of water. Again, tapping into them feelings, tapping into them emotions. And what do you find there? Love overflowing. Love overflowing. So you can be tapped into this, where it might bring you into a space of feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you're being controlled, feeling like, oh my God, I can't because whatever is holding you back. Or you can jump into them deep waters like the wise woman there. Look, they both in yellow. I say this is Oshun energy. Oshun energy is all about the woman, the divine feminine, that love energy. How are you nurturing yourself, men and women? How are you loving yourself? How are you facing your emotions and not running from them, as I expressed in my experience? This is how you get that love overflowing. Love overflowing, as we talked, it's in that high vibration of that transpersonal hourglass of awareness. You want to reach that higher level after self-actualization. Come through, Aquarius. It's all the mind. Yes, yes, yes. Looky. We going to keep our cups full. We got to fill our own cups. Nobody's going to fill it for you. And it's filled by your thoughts. But bringing it into heart and mind coherence is what we got to do, to be able to keep our cup full so that we can have something to give to others. In my book, Embracing the Queen Within, the first quote on there is, me first, then you. Giving to myself allows me to have something to give to you. This is not being selfish. It's being self-full. If you are empty, if you have been a people pleaser, because that was the opposite end of being a fighter. I went from the extreme of being a fighter, like I'm going to beat you up. You say something that's out of, I'm fighting. Boys, girls, men, women, all y'all gonna get these hands, right? My, how I've grown. So I went from that extreme to the people pleaser, right? So in that space of being the people pleaser, my cup was empty. I was giving and giving and giving and giving to the detriment of myself. feeling so empty, so low, so like I don't even know what, I just got to give some more, give some more, give some more, give some more. And in that space, I lost myself to the point where I was like, if this is all I get, I don't even want to, I'm ready to check out. Like really, like death in the physical form. Like, I don't want to do this no more. I've fought all my life. Now I've tried to be loved and everybody's taken and now I'm the victim. But I began to do the work for myself, get the information for myself, seek God for myself, seek help in other forms of like, God, show me where I need to go. What do I need to do? Because if this is it, I don't want it. And don't you know, this is what poured into me in a way that I've never, ever, ever felt. And I come from a very loving family. My grandmother, bless her soul, Laura Evans, my grandmother, she gave us so much love. It was so unconditional, so much love that I can't even describe it. But at the same time, you know, when you grow up and you ain't able to go get on grandma's lap and everything gonna be okay, it becomes a real battleground. So that love was poured back on me as an adult, and it was so strong. It was so filling. And that is where I heard God say, fill your cup. I'm going to give you what you need, but you got to keep it. You got to work with it. You got to maintain it. You got to create boundaries. You got to know when to say yes and when to say no. You got to know how to show up for yourself in spite of how it's going to make somebody else feel, because it's not about them. It's about you and those people who are aligning with what it is you're wanting to experience, because your heart is in the right place. It's not to take from anyone else, but it's to show up in a place of feeling safe, loved, and provided for myself. Those other people who can come in and reciprocation of love and good stuff, let them in. But all that other stuff, let it go. Let it go. You know, like Frozen. You know, from water to ice. She can be as cold as ice too. All right? That part. Okay, so 27, we're going to read what this overflowing love is all about. All right, Mother Nature. Mother Nature showing up, y'all. In this divine space of love, it says, I trust the guidance of my heart. I tell y'all. Oh, wait. Look, I can't even get my bell quick enough. Oh, y'all heard that. I've been saying that all along. This is how the word confirms itself. I mean, what? I've been speaking of that all along. Getting back into the heart space. Getting back to that feeling of your cup. Overflowing love. Getting to those higher vibrations of nirvana and bliss and joy and, you know, and all that other stuff is there. And it serves a purpose. If you haven't been familiar with it, you might need to get introduced to it so that you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep being in this cycle of this. I want something else. And sometimes it means changing your environment. It means changing your mindset, adjusting your crown, honey, because, again, we are royalty, right? Look at her. She even got on a crown, y'all. We ending in a bang right now. Bang a bang. That's why they said they wanted one more card, because they wanted this word to come through just like it did. And we are so thankful for all the energy, all the love that y'all shared. I give thanks for each and every one of you who stayed on the call, who heard me out. I pray that it blessed your heart, blessed your mind, blessed your soul, and that it helped you to see that you can adjust your crown. You are the change you wish to see. You are the light in the darkness that sets others free. You are the voice calling out in the wilderness. You are the Christ consciousness made flesh in the body of you and me. Ring the bell again, because we shifting frequencies around here, you know? So feel home now. But until next time, y'all, I am your host, Chantel Sierra Kim, speaking out and fixing crowns in the process. Until next time, I'm here every day, 365 days this year, embracing the queen within and living aligned and crowned. Be on the lookout on my website, If you, Good Vibes Lounge LLC. Check me out with my personal offers that I have to offer. Also, if you came in on the end of this reading or came in the middle, whatever, and you want to see it in its full replay, please check out my YouTube page, which I'm trying to build a following. Share it with a friend, share it with your family. It's Circle of Sister Table Talks. Circle of Sister Table Talks podcast on YouTube, and I'm going to be posting my whole 365-day journey. I'm welcoming y'all into the space. I don't want to be on here by myself. I'm willing to have some dialogue face to face. If you haven't already, if you feel inspired and you want to do it, all you have to do is go live 30 minutes on TikTok. You don't even have to be seen. You can press play and go do what you need to do for 30 minutes for 3 days, and then you can come into other people's lives. But yeah, trust yourself. I mean, for me, it's getting easier. At first, I was like, shaking in my pants, and I still am a little nervous, but the more I do it, the easier it's getting, because I truly believe I have a message. My life is my message, my brand. Oh, speaking of, be on the lookout for a documentary coming out this year, February, March, April, maybe before the end of summer, called She Is ATL, which I, yours truly, will be featured in a photo picture documentary talking about my life, talking about how I'm showing up in these here Atlanta streets, you know, doing what I do as a esteemed wise woman, you know, growing, glowing, and flowing. It's gonna be coming out. I got to do a whole photo makeover and be treated like a queen. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And I had an interview, so yeah, you know, I'm just this oracle messenger, showing up and showing out, trusting the guidance of my inner self, my God self, my ancestors, those who support me in this physical body and on the other side, calling me out of my comfort zone, you know, because you can't put your talent under a tree and expect to get the best life yet. You know, the talents are very important. The abilities are very important. You have to tap in, because people are waiting for you. People are waiting for your light, your love, your gifts, your talents, your products, your services, because this world is changing, and we need to know who's in our corner, who's in our inner courts, as I speak of in my Embracing the Queen Within book. So it's a journal. Both of my books, Aligned and Crowned, The Will Within the Will, came out this year. Yay, yay, yay. Ring the bell on that. It talks about living aligned and crowned. My book last year came out, Embracing the Queen Within, 12 Principles of Sacred Living, based on my work that I did personally through my rites of passage with Queen Afua. Yeah, I've been doing some things, y'all. Sometimes I don't even realize what I've been doing, but when I can speak about it and go back and listen, because sometimes I be just talking, I don't even know what I'm saying. So I have to go back and listen to what I've said too. So yeah, there's always a message. So until next time, thank y'all. Hearts and love. Until we meet again, peace and love.